So Devin the Dream Haney will be facing George Ferocious Kambosos this coming June, I'm sorry, June 4th in Australia. So I'm here to give my official prediction for this fight. And I had said in one of my previous videos related to this that this would be like a kind of like an awkward prediction because I think whichever way Devin Haney decides this, whatever Devin Haney does in the ring decides if he wins or loses. In my opinion, is politics. I think is involved in this one more than a lot of other predictions and stuff like that. But let's just get into it real quick, man. We got Devin Haney, good, great, excellent footwork, decent speed. Defense sometimes is a little questionable with Devin Haney. I see a lot of holes, things that he have to work on. Hopefully, like he's sharpening his eyes, he's sharpening himself for this fight and beyond. It's a work in progress. He's still young. He's 23, something like that. So he still got a lot of a lot of things to work on with his craft. But he's an excellent boxer, man. He's turning into. We talked the power thing a lot with Devin Haney. It might be a thing where he just might not be, what we want him to be when it comes to the power thing. We'll have to wait till he moves up and we'll see. But overall, man, he might just be turned into like a pure boxer. That just might be what he is. That might be his style. Can't knock him. Some people are born with power. Some people are just punchers like that. Some people ain't. You can't force a power puncher to be a boxer, and you can't force a boxer to be a power puncher, man. It's just not gonna work. Either you got both, or you got the other, or you just ain't got none. So that's what it is with him right now. Durability. He has chin chest tested by Jorge Linares. Got touched up a little against Jojo Diaz. Wasn't nothing too serious, but the Jorge Linares one was the one everybody liked to frown upon and make fun and poke fun at Devin Haney about that fight, calling him chinny. That is the fight where officially Devin Haney has been classified as having a suspect chin. Because before that, you never really heard that much about Devin. All you would hear about is his power not being there. You never heard anything about him being chinny. Then all of a sudden he takes one shot from Jorge Linares, gets wobbled a bit. Now all of a sudden he has a suspect chin. That's just the way these boxing guys are, man. It's crazy. But mind you, he didn't drop, didn't fall or nothing. But these other guys, they got dropped in their fights, but nobody called them chinny. It's weird. But anyway. And then you got George Kambosos. Has excellent speed. Power, I would have to probably give George Kambosos the edge on power over Devin Haney. It is what it is. He just looks like he generates more power than Devin, man. His punches are more compact. I'm just calling it what it is. It just looks like he just has more power than the kid. That's what it is. Speed, definitely got the speed. I think he got the speed advantage over Devin Haney as well. And Devin is fast, but George is, he's a fast motherfucker. He is. Durability though, he was in there with Tiafimo, a heavy puncher. So I would have to say Kambosos, his durability, man. With that fight alone, that fight alone will put him over the top with Devin when it comes to the how durable his chin is and stuff like that. At least for right now, until Devin gets in there with some real heavier hitters in Linares, then right now I would have to give George the edge on that. George has been down. You can say that too. You can argue that George has been down. Devin has not been down yet. So you can look at it in different ways. That might mean something. That might not. But we'll have to find out. Combination punching, man. Definitely, I get that to Devin. I've seen Kambosos with a little bit of that, a little some flusters here and there, but Devin, I think, is just a superb. He's just a better boxer, man, than George Kambosos, hands down. Which leads me to other points in this video. We know how it is. You go to other countries. I mean, George came over here. He fought Tiafimo in his country, and you could argue the fact that that knockdown he gave Tio in the first round meant a lot in that fight. That fight was very close. It was like back. I wouldn't say close. It was like back and forth. George was catching him more. He was hitting him more cleaner. Tio was catching George too, but his shots were missing more than George's shots. So that's why the judges, and then he got knocked down. So he knocked Tio knocked down George Kambosos. So that kind of changed things up a little bit too in the fight. But nonetheless, he had a knockdown, and that counted for something. Definitely counted for something in that fight. It would have been even closer if Kambosos didn't get the knockdown. So, which lead me to believe, with all the shenanigans that have been going on with this fucking George Kambosos, man, not wanting to fight, kept trying to stall the fight, making excuses, saying he had to make sure that the signatures wasn't fake, all kind of stuff, man, and all kind of weird shit he put in the contract. Devin took the contract anyway because he wanted to prove himself to be great. I know I seen other channels and they were saying that this was the wrong move for Devin because they kind of like put him in a slave ship almost, man. But hey, you could look at it like that, but in the eyes of Devin, that's not how he looking at it, So you got to respect how he looking at it. You know what I mean? However he's looking at it, he see a different point of view from other people, So, Devin Haney, man, he's going to have to go in there and if he don't get a KO, he's going to have to get some kind of knockdown in this fight, bro. Or he's just going to have to, clearly, it's going to have to be no dispute about it. He's going to have to go in there and clearly outbox George Kambosos' head off. If he doesn't do any of those things, he loses in Australia. He's not going home with those belts. He's not bringing the belts back here. And a lot of other channels feel the same way. Rather, it's the channels that don't fuck with Bud and they fuck with Devin, or it's channels that strictly fuck with Devin, or even channels that don't fuck with Devin. They same thing. Yo, look, he's gonna have to do this. He's gonna have to do this, and if he don't, he loses. And I'm here to say it too, because I'm a Devin Haney fan. I support Devin. I think he's a great fighter. He definitely still has some work to do. Like, he got to brush up on some things. Absolutely. Still, I like his fighting spirit. That's why he's one of my favorite, because I like the tenacity of Devin Haney, the heart. I like that. Challenging himself, pushed himself to the limit with this one, man. So he's gonna have to do that. George Kambosos, the way I see this fight going, man, it all depends on how Devin Haney. This fight is gonna be pretty much decided by Devin Haney, man. It's whatever Devin decides to go in there and do, because he is going to be the superior boxer in that ring. So whatever Devin decides to do, if he decides to go into Australia and straight bring it to George Kambosos, make it a phone bowl fight, I don't think that's a good idea, because that is not Devin's thing. He's not a inside puncher like that. So I don't recommend, and I hope Bill Haney and them are not training Devin Haney to solely go in there and try to make it a brawl, a slugfest with George Kambosos. I think that's going to open up a window potentially for Kambosos to drop Devin Haney for the first time. That can possibly happen in this fight. I'm not going to straight shit on George Kambosos and say he can't do it, because he can. Or that's going to open up a possibility for Devin Haney to get hurt again like he did against Jorge Linares. Because, you got these dudes with these compact arms, and George Kambosos' inside game is not all there either. So Neither is Devin. So these dudes inside game, if they was to fight an inside game, it would look really sloppy, man. Really, I can tell you that it'll look sloppy. It'll look goofy. Cause you got Devin in there. I'll probably give Devin the edge on the inside, where even though I don't think Devin is a great inside fighter, I think he's better than Kambosos on the inside. But it'll look awkward. And then you got Kambosos that probably touch him to the body, and he can probably hurt Dev to the body. I don't want that to happen. So I think, and then if he goes in there, he outboxes and moves around, that's going to give George Kambosos a lot of problems. If he moves around a lot and he keeps Kambosos at the end of that jab, he can potentially box his head off the whole 12, man. The problem is if that's all he does is just box him, and he doesn't like try to bring it to him. In those, you got to remember, Australia, they might go by a lot of shit he was saying in the past, how he won't lose to no white boys, and all kind of stuff is against Devin in this fight, bro. That's why he gonna have to do something a little different, but he gonna have to just be cautious while he do it, So if he goes in there just straight keeps him outside the whole fight, he not gonna win like that, man. I don't think he gonna win like that. You gonna have to do more than that. You can keep him outside, but he gonna have to come in. I mean, he gonna have to come in and do his thing. And here's my thing: is how I think this fight is gonna end up. Honestly, as hungry as Devin is, I think he's gonna be super on point in this fight, bro. I think he's gonna be super on point. This fight, I think, is gonna look like Floyd Mayweather versus Ricky Hatton. I think that's how this fight gonna go. For some reason, it's gonna go just like that. I think Devin is probably gonna end up KOing this dude. For some reason, I'm just getting that KO vibe from this fight. And Devin hasn't had a stoppage. I gotta go and check how long ago Devin hasn't had a stoppage. So his last KO was in 2019 against Antonio Moran. He knocked him out in the 7th round. So Devin Haney, he hasn't had a knockout since 2019. So that's almost 3 years. So what's gonna change with this one? Well, this is an undisputed bout, man. Sometimes in an undisputed fight, these dudes be letting their nuts hang, and that might be a possibility in this fight. The only thing is, it's gonna have to be disciplined. It can't be sloppy, and it can't be an irresponsible slugfest. Can't do that. That's not his thing. But he's gonna have to step out his element a little bit in this fight if he want to get them belts. And that's what I'm saying. It's like Devin Haney has so much pressure on him now with this fight. He put a lot of pressure on himself by taking his contract, number one, but still, the fight within itself, he put a lot of pressure on himself to show improve. So he's gonna have to do that. He's gonna have to, or he's not gonna win. He's not gonna win the rematch either. It's gonna be the same thing. You're gonna have to replicate what he did in his first fight in the rematch. But see, when he fights him the first time, Devin's gonna learn a lot from George Kambosos. And then the second fight should be much easier for Devin. You know what I mean? Absolutely. I think it should be much easier. So I think Devin's going to go in there and mix it up a little bit. You're going to see a lot of outboxing to keep George at bay, to frustrate him a lot. And I think they're going to surprise this motherfucker Kambosos in this fight. They probably banking on Devin running the whole 12. And George is going to go in there and try to put pressure on him, try to walk him down. That's what's going to happen. He's going to go in there and try to walk Devin down because they know Devin is not a power puncher. They're going to go in there and underestimate him. And then it's going to be just, I'm telling you, it's going to be just like Floyd Mayweather and fucking, I said his name, I'm bugging out. I'm tired as a motherfucker, sorry. Just like Floyd Mayweather and Ricky Hatton. It's going to be just like that. He's going to run into something that nobody going to expect him to clip George with, and he's going to knock him out, bro. He's going to knock him out. And that's going to be the boxing guards talking as well, too. All that shit Kambosos was pulling for this fight. I just think Devin is going to hit him with something that nobody expected to see and then he gonna knock him out. I think that's what's gonna happen. I don't know what round. I would have to say it'll be later rounds, maybe 10th. So my final official prediction for this fight is going to be Devin Haney by knockout. It's going to be his first knockout in almost 3 years. And rightfully deserved. All of the stuff he put Devin through, I think he's going to go in there and whoop him. He's going to go in there and he's going to put on a boxing clinic. Absolutely. And then he's going to go and then he's going to plant his feet. He's going to get George worn down. And then that's when you're going to see Devin start planting his feet. That's what I think the game plan is. Go in there, have George moving around, get him tired, outbox him, jab his fucking head off, tag his body up some, wrap him up, fluster him, confuse him with the hand speed, with the combinations, confuse him with the foot movement and everything. And then when he starts to slow down, start tagging him, just planting his feet and throwing some power behind his punches. You can say what you want. But he still got knockouts. He still got 15 knockouts on his record. You know? And let's be honest, who the fuck was George Kambosos before this Tio fight? Nobody even really heard of this dude. So if it wasn't for Teofimo Lopez, nobody wouldn't even really be hearing nothing about no George Kambosos, you know, keeping it all the way real. So, you know, to sum it up, Devin is going to have to do something different. He's going to have to be a dog in certain instances and definitely outbox in others. I would recommend him to outbox more than be a dog. But he's gonna show us a different element in this fight, and then he's gonna get the KO. And I have every bit of belief that that's what's gonna happen in this fight. Mark my words, that's what's gonna happen in this first fight. The second fight probably not going to be a knockout. I think the first one is. Or it might go the other way around. The first fight might be outbox him to the win. The second fight might be the knockout. But I think this first one here, he's going to knock George Kambosos out. So it's going to be a first for everything. It's going to be the first knockout Devin gets within 2 or 3 year period. It's going to be the first time in George Kambosos' professional career he gets knocked out. And I would love this because he knocks this guy out in his own country, and this is a guy that they say had pillow fits. I would love to see that, man. It'll look so good for Devin Haney to do that. That's why I'm rooting for the knockout. So he will knock George Kambosos out officially. 10th round KO, Devin Haney. It's Rebel Life Boxing. Catch y'all later. Let me know what y'all think about this fight. Like and subscribe. Catch y'all later.